Hey y'all, it's another beautiful day in the neighborhood. My name is Tonia. Over here on my channel, we have a good time, but it's a whole lot going on. We've got drinks, decor, and lately we've been having a couple conversations about death, but this is the first time that I'm putting them all together. If you've been here for a while and you've seen the progress that I've made on the renovation of my 111-year-old investment property, but what does death have to do with home decor? The path to homeownership is changing. Instead of purchasing homes, most people will become first-time homeowners through inheritance. With skyrocketing housing prices, it's important now more than ever to ensure homes remain within families, to encourage entrepreneurship, and to add stability and affordability to the housing market. My app makes end-of-life planning simple, affordable, and less intimidating. Subscribe to my channel for updates. I had a lot of fun recording and editing the true crime and makeup video, and I think y'all enjoyed it too because it seemed to get a really good response. So we're gonna do it again. We're gonna run it back. This time we're gonna do it a little bit differently. Instead of covering true crime cases, we're gonna talk about all things beauty: hair, makeup, nails, for a funeral service. There's actually a name for mortuary cosmetics. It's called Desirology. I mean, y'all said the cosmetologist girls was going back to their 9 to 5, so I mean, it might be time to kind of like pivot or try something new. I mean, if you can get over like the initial fear of the unknown or kind of get past like the shock of working with the deceased, I think it's a great avenue for people to look into because it's something that needs more and more inclusion and diversity. Just thinking about things like that really makes a difference to the family when it's time for them to like pay their final respects. They want to be able to recognize the person that they're looking at. Mortuary cosmetics is what led me to the funeral industry in the first place. I got my cosmetology license in 2014 and my grandma passed the same year. So we were sitting back there with the funeral director, and my grandma always had really pretty like silver hair, and full head of perfectly silver hair. So when we were back there making her funeral arrangements, I asked the funeral director who was gonna do her hair, and everybody stopped and looked at me like, girl, what? Now see, this gonna go one of two ways. This brow getting thinner and thinner now. Hold on. I mean, we could chop it down a little bit, but wait a minute. I'm gonna get back to that story in just a second. This just reminded me, somebody in my comment said that a natural brow would look better. And honestly, I've been wanting to play around with like different brow styles and everything, but I microbladed my eyebrows back in like 2018. Like, I still was in my early 20s. That was definitely an early 20s type of decision. But in my defense, I definitely thought it would have faded by now. Like, that was the big thing that they were advertising, is that it wasn't permanent. It wasn't like an eyebrow tattoo. It would fade. I don't know what was in the ink. It didn't fade. They alright. They alright. Are they my best brows? No. Everybody stopped and looked at me like I had grew a second head or something. Like, they looked at me like I was crazy. A few years went by and I just completely like forgot about it. And then one day I started thinking about offering this as a service to families and started looking into it. As I started researching what it would take to start offering hair and makeup services to the families, I decided that maybe I should just go all in and open a funeral home. And that's how we got here. I really like the way this turned out. I wanted to keep it pretty neutral today just because it's like 1 o'clock in the morning. But I just wanted to get on here and drink some wine and talk to y'all. So I think I want to do a little bit of gold in here, and then am I gonna line it with a little something? What am I lining it with? I'm gonna keep it simple. So I'm gonna just throw a little bit of gold right here in the corner. I mentioned it in a previous video, but there was a time that the community was very involved in death care services and making sure that their loved ones were handled and taken care of with some dignity and respect, and it was a very sacred practice. And I think we need to get back to that. I think we kind of lost the way a little bit, and death care has been heavily commercialized. But I really want to bring the community back into the funeral home. If it's something that you're interested in trying, or you just want to learn more information about it, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I have something coming up for y'all very soon that's going to make funeral homes a lot more inviting and collaborative. It's like a win-win situation. They'll be able to offer more versatile styles and different looks for families, and the cosmetologist gets more business. I'm currently working on that project and I'll keep y'all updated as I make progress, but let's give you an update on where we are with the renovation. Lately, I've been focused on getting organized. Living through a renovation is really hard sometimes because it's like you can't escape from the project. Like you're always here. Like all I can do all day. I wonder how many more bricks I'm gonna need to finish that. Oh, well, what about this over here? First, I need to do this. Damn, I can't wait until this part is done. So it can be really overwhelming. It was driving me crazy, so I decided to just take it one room at a time. So I've started in the back of the house and I'm just working my way towards the front. The goal is to completely finish out one space before I move on to the next one. The laundry room should be easy, and the key word is should. I really don't need much back there though. So I'm thinking I could line these walls with shelves just to hold like the bleach and laundry detergent, that type of thing. Then I'll get like a wall mounted holder for like the mops and brooms and all that. I don't have any lights back there, but I was able to find some really nice plug-in lights on Amazon. So I'll probably get one of those. Y'all are always in my comments giving me good suggestions and I love that. So let me know what you think. I definitely want to hear y'all's opinions. So far, I've only used 2 colors throughout this house, Bear Cracked Pepper and Vintage Pewter. When I'm choosing a color scheme for a space, I like to take into consideration the surroundings. So for example, the purple townhouse that I was working on in Atlanta, for most of the year, the sky is like a really gray, cloudy color. The soft purple really complements the skyline. In this unit, I get a really nice view of the sunny blue sky and the treetops. Plus, I'm trying to manifest some funding for this funeral home, so I chose a nice deep shade of money green. And I paired it with a nice relaxing shade of blue because it matches the exterior of the house. I feel like these 4 colors perfectly represent the moody, boho, glam type vibe I was going for. The laundry room needs some color. I think this wall was originally a part of the house's exterior and then the laundry room was added later on. To me, it makes sense to make it feel like it's still part of the house's exterior and to paint it a matching color. I know I said I was done with the teeny tiny bathroom, but I really didn't like that soggy ass shower curtain touching me. And as time went by, I realized that I really don't like dark grout in the bathroom. So I changed the gray grout to a white color using a grout pen. It looks so much cleaner. It only cost me about $20 and it was way easier than re-grouting the whole bathroom because I wasn't finna do all that. Then I replaced the shower curtain with the glass door and it feels so much better. The shower feels bigger, brighter. Now it did cost me about $250, but honestly it was worth every penny. It feels like every time I take 2 steps forwards, I take 10 steps backwards. So even though I'm making progress upstairs, downstairs is a different story. The layout in this bathroom didn't make sense. I don't know who came up with this, but they need their ass whooped. How are you supposed to get in and out of the shower without tripping over the toilet? You see what I'm saying? 2 steps forward, 10 steps backwards. Now how the hell I go from 2 lashes back down to 1? I don't know why they want to embarrass me on live TV like this right now, but I don't appreciate lashes. You're not funny. But this is my rental property, so I need to figure out the easiest and most cost-effective way to get it repaired. If we remove this wall and then move the shower head to this side, then the sink won't be tucked in the back corner and you can enter the shower from here without touching the toilet on your way. We started demo, then we realized that all the wood underneath the shower is completely rotted out and the entire room has to be gutted. My pocket's gonna be toe up. Speaking of renovation costs, don't forget to include a dumpster in your renovation budget. Demo creates a lot of trash, but nobody prepared me for exactly how much garbage costs. A 7-day rental will cost you about $350. I stacked up all my trash from the past couple of months and let it pile up, so I only had to rent the dumpster once. In the second bathroom, there's a huge hole in the ceiling because the clawfoot tub above it started leaking. If it ain't one thing, it's another. I got it fixed, but the damage is done. Luckily, it's mostly cosmetic at this point, so I just need a couple of sheets of drywall and it'll be good as new. Now that the tub isn't leaking anymore, it should be pretty easy to just finish up the upstairs bathroom. But gutting the bathroom downstairs isn't gonna be cheap, so that means my budget has to be pretty tight everywhere else. It's hard out here, and I know a lot of us are on a budget, so I'm working on a series of $100 projects that you can do at home. The mirror wall that I posted a couple weeks ago was a $50 project. I left a space in the middle for shelves. To cover the gap between the wall tiles and the floor, I used some vinyl trim. It kind of reminded me of the stuff that you see like in the hallways at school, but I actually like the way it looks. Originally, I planned to get rid of the clawfoot tubs. Crazy, but I didn't know any better. My mom saved them. She was like, "You gonna get rid of them tubs, girl?" No, ma'am. Then y'all hopped in my comments and said the same exact thing on TikTok. So we're gonna restore her and just add a shower. I gave her a good scrub and then used a drill attachment to remove any of the rust and paint. The shelves should add some storage space, but I don't think that's gonna be enough room for all of my stuff. So I went and bought this bathroom cabinet from IKEA, and I love the glass detail on this cabinet. It's gorgeous. She definitely gives vintage luxury. Then to top it off, I got these glass jars from Amazon to hold my cotton balls and Q-tips. They have like a really boho type engraved design, and these two items together just look amazing. I know I changed my mind a million times, but I finally came up with a plan for the fireplace. First we tried to paint it, and I thought it was gonna be like a really nice pop of color, but that just wasn't it. I hated it immediately. So then I asked my mama to repaint the fireplace black. She was already sick of me, but she did it anyway. And that was just too dark. I still wasn't really a fan. Y'all told me to just get rid of the wooden frame. I'm gonna be honest, I was scared. But one thing led into another, and before I knew it, I was just praying that I didn't break the mirror. When the frame was actually gone, I noticed the color of the wood underneath, and then I found these inspiration photos on Pinterest, and baby, it was over. I used about 3 coats of citrus strip to remove the layers of paint from the wood. At first I was playing around with the idea of putting tile in front of the fireplace, but I really couldn't find a way to make it look how I'd envisioned it. One day I was standing in my kitchen and it hit me. I could use bricks to mimic the platform that I have in the kitchen, and I could use that to create the platform around the fireplace. That'll make it cohesive, and it'll really make both areas look intentional. I want a lounge type of vibe in the living room. I want to feel like I'm kicking back at like a hookah lounge or like somewhere really like relaxing and cool to just like chill and catch a vibe. A vintage mirror would make it look really classy and like romantic. One day I was cleaning up and I just put the tile up on the mantle, and then it hit me that I could tile this part of the wall. I completely fell in love. Not only does it draw your eye directly to the fireplace, but it also has hints of the same color that we used in the back of the house in the laundry room. Someone posted a comment saying that this room needs a statement chandelier. You can never have too many chandeliers, and I have one right outside this room in the hallway, but I do agree that this room definitely needs some statement lighting. Putting this vintage industrial style light in the room right next to my super sparkly like glam chandelier would be a really fun contrast, or I could keep the styles kind of similar. Now if my budget was on fuck it, I would get this one, but my pocket's not that deep yet, so I'm gonna keep looking for something with the same amount of drama but for a lot less coin. Amen. My toxic trait is that I like to spend imaginary money. Like I'll go on a designer website, I'm on Chanel, I'm everywhere, I'm building carts. I'm like, damn, only $12,000 for this bag? I would pay that. $19,000 shoes? Why not? Let me add that to the cart. I'm on Zillow. I'm scrolling. What? They only want $8 million for this house? This beachfront property is only $6 million? What? That's such a great deal. Girl, use a window shopper. Looking at shit you know you can't buy. You may call it window shopping. I call it manifesting, okay? Now, don't get me wrong. It's not all bad downstairs. From down here, you get a view of the lower portion of the trees and the yard outside. This is a rental unit, so I have to keep my design simple enough to match my tenant's style. The color palette I chose has really clean, earthy vibes. We painted the walls commercial white by PPG and then installed the same LVP flooring that I used in the upstairs unit. I'm painting the doors using Cracked Pepper by Bear. By using very similar colors in both units, I'm able to save a little bit of money. At first, I was afraid that I bit off more than I can chew with this project, but then I realized that I've been eating this shit up. I can't wait to hear what y'all think about my plans for the duplex. Let me know down in the comments. Thank you for having a drink with me, and I'll see you next time.